Hey guys, Jason with Long Bottom Farm. We are on our way home. We've got 300 birds in the back of a... All right guys, we are home. I've got a little red tomato. It's my little Prius. I use this to drive around just because it gets like 50 miles per gallon. It's great when I need to ride back and forth from Richmond to Scottsville, where we live. That's about an hour-and-a-half drive, and that is what we use today to pick up chickens. So these are one-day-old baby chicks. They are all right back here. I've got it nice and toasty in there. So we're gonna go load these guys into the brooder, show you what our setup is in there, what we do when we initially put them in, and how we get these guys to their new home. All right. Real quick, we have a newsletter, the Sunday Solopreneur. This comes out every Sunday about 10 a.m. I talk about how to market your products on your farm, how to use social media and websites to grow your farm. I also talk about farming, raising cattle, chickens, pigs. We go through it all, and it's about building your farm business. Sign up now, and you also get a free PDF on how to use ChatGPT to write your social media, to write your newsletters, and to help write product descriptions for your products. This is free download for signing up for the newsletter. One newsletter every 1 to 2 weeks, no spam, I promise. Check it out. I think you'll get a lot of value in learning to grow your farm or homestead, and it's free. All right, back to the video. All right, guys, here's a look at our brooder setup. Sorry, I hope the chicks aren't too loud in the background. I've got 2 waters in here. I'll probably add a third. You can see I've got this line running right here. I just need to set a bucket up. So we'll get that set up after we get these guys in. And these are bell waters. They have lines running to buckets that are outside, and I fill them up from the outside. So I don't have to go in here to fill waters. Very convenient. I've got another one back there. We got one here. And like I say, I'll have a third one right here. I've already got my lamps going. I've got 5 lamps in here. This middle one actually is not working, so my wife's bringing another one. And then I've got feeders spread out all throughout the brooder. And these are little ones. These work great for about a week. After about a week, they start eating too much and they start kicking shavings into them. So, but this is typically what we use for the first week. They're very cheap. I'll have some links to all this stuff below in the description if you're interested in any of it. So this is the setup. We've got dry shavings, and yeah, so a nice warm environment. We're free from the wind, and this is where they'll live for the next 3 weeks. All right, let's get these little guys in here, show you how we do that and what we do. And as you can see, these guys look great. I don't think I have any dead ones in here. Super lively. Super excited about this group. I think they're going to do well. So we're making it a family affair. We got everybody helping, let the birds out. Today will be just a chill day. We get the birds in here, we kind of let them rest. We're not doing a lot. We do check on them quite frequently, but we're out of the brooder. We're not going in and just letting them find their way around, letting them acclimate. We'll keep an eye close on the temperatures. You can see we've got lights hanging, and if the birds are really hot, they are going to all be away from those lights. If those lights are not providing enough heat or they're too high, they're going to all be huddled under them like in a ball. So that's something to really keep an eye on the first day or two, because that'll tell you if your temperature's right, if your lights are right. Of course, you can use thermometers, shoot for 95 degrees, but the best marker is to actually look at your birds, see what they're doing. They will tell you what you need to do for them. All right, let's finish getting these guys out, and then we'll talk about the water setup, the feed we're using, and then we'll talk about a few ideas you can use instead of a big setup like this. If you're just brooding a couple chicks, some really simple ways to do that. All right.
No, because you're a mom now. Congratulations. They like you. You're a mom now. Congratulations.
All right, guys, as you can see, the birds are all in. These birds are 1 day old, and everybody's running around, looking lively. I've got a few over here in the corner, so I'm gonna watch these lights. It may be a little too hot for them, but we'll keep an eye on that. They're starting to figure out the food. You see, there's a little guy over there eating. And chickens are funny that once one of them starts to eat, then the rest of them will start following. They're kind of like cattle in that way, a little bit like herd animals. And so this is it. They are in the brooder. These are pretty simple. They'll be in here for the next 3 weeks, and that's because they don't have feathers right now. It's kind of a down, and they can't really keep themselves warm. So we have to keep them warm for 3 weeks until their feathers come in. At which point, then they will head out to pasture into our mobile range coops. If you want to see a video on that, we did a video up here. You can check those out, how we built those and how we're using those. Otherwise, some of the main things with these guys, one, heat, got to keep heat, got to keep them warm. Again, this is set up where they can get under the heat. If they need to move, they can move to the sides. So we're kind of giving them, we're letting them regulate their temperature. 2, you got to have food. You can see we've got a bunch of little feeders here with chick feeder startup from Sunrise Feeds. That's what we use here. Non-GMO, great product. We've been using it for years. Water. I've showed you our water system with the bell water. Again, we've got a bucket outside that we fill up, and that essentially fills these up. So I only have to just keep the outside full. If you're thinking of doing a brooder, obviously this is a big one. This was our first chicken house, believe it or not. Those back doors, they're like that because that was where we opened to get our eggs. We have boxes back there, and we outgrew this, but it became a perfect brooder. So that's what we use it for now. You can see behind me here, they're running around, chirping. Everybody sounds good. So we're using it as a brooder. But what if you're on a much smaller scale and you want to raise some baby birds? Well, all you have to do, you can keep them inside in a nice warm area. You could get one of these heat lamps and hang it over them. Goal is keep it around 95 degrees for the first week and then start stepping it down from there. Some will say 5 degrees per week. Some will say a degree or 2 per day. Main thing is just not to do it too fast and to keep them good and warm until they feather out. We typically do about 5 degrees per week. So by the end of this, the time they're in here, we would technically have it set around 70, 75. Again, we just watch the birds though. We're big enough in here that I can actually provide some really warm heat in one area and not have a lot of heat in another area, and they can sort of pick what they need. And based on what they're doing, I can tell what they need. But if you're doing this on a small scale, say you got 10 birds from Tractor Supply, you can get a little tote. They work perfect. They're cheap, easy to clean. Put some shavings. You can get those from Tractor Supply or any ag store. And those shavings will help soak up manure, and you just got to keep that clean. That's it for about 3 weeks. You can raise them inside, have a little food, a little water. You can buy easily little chick setups from, again, your ag stores. You can just use little dishes. There's not a lot to it. You do want to use some good quality feed, and I recommend non-medicated feed. Again, up to you. We don't use any antibiotics stuff with our chicks. They come healthy, and we feel like as long as we're giving them the proper environment, they'll be healthy, and they don't need all that stuff. So we give them just non-GMO mash, very easy for them to eat, digest. We do watch their butts for things like pasty butt and such. If we start seeing any of that, we will tend to put some vinegar in the water. We may use some yogurt. They make some electrolyte packs, but as I understand it, those are salt-based. Therefore, we stay away from that. So, use some yogurt you can put in there, some kefir, works great. Put just a little bowl of that, let them eat some of that. And again, I think 1 or 2 years, our first couple years, we had issues with it, but we haven't really seen it since. So again, making sure they know where the water's at, that they're staying plenty hydrated, making sure that there's enough water for everyone. And that's it. You can raise these literally in your mud room, get them to about 3 weeks. Then once they got feathers, you can get them outside. Again, it's April now. So you're getting into May, June, it's hot outside. So they're good to go. And that's really it for brooding. It's not a lot. I've got a longer video on brooding. You can see down at the bottom. I've actually done 2 videos on it. And if you want to check those out, if you're thinking about doing it, again, we're doing it on a production scale here. This is 300 birds. We'll have another couple batches of 300 coming here over the next couple weeks to months. But this is it. This is brooding. And in a couple weeks, we'll show you how we get them from the brooder outside. In the meantime, we'll keep you up to date on how these guys are doing. If you have questions, feel free to comment below. I don't have all the answers, but we've been doing this now almost 10 years. And if I can help in any way, glad to help. If you want to see some more videos on how we brood chicks and get them ready for the pasture, check out these videos here, and we'll catch you in the next one. All right, bye.